What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family. Loso Way says blessings, AD. Blessings back to you. Purple Haze, what's going on? Jesse Xavier. Gerald Sparrow, Walk on Wood. My dog DJ Ace Productions, Azriel, your cars in the building, KP, Gerald Sparrow. Everybody, what up though? Williams, Miss Williams, account tax, what's going on? Woo Steezy, I see you. Chase Burns, Miss Know It All. That's a heck of a name. Miss Know It All, what up though? Nick the Noop, I see you. Real Life PJ, what up though? What up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling this morning? How was y'all weekend? I did a Patreon live stream yesterday. I did it on IPOs. It was a lot more technical. I tried to break it down a little bit more from a C student's perspective, but the upcoming mega IPOs, OpenAI, SpaceX, Anthropic, all of those. So I re-uploaded that yesterday, and then I'm trying to get a video together for tomorrow in the Patreon because tomorrow's my birthday. It snuck up on me so fast. Shrill Mercy says, blessed to see my daughter off to prom. That's dope. That's really, really dope. Friend on a Sunday says, V Nicole. What up, V? Enos Luby, what up, though? What's happening? Just left the gym. Sun is shining. Yeah, man. It's kind of snuck up on me. My birthday is tomorrow, so I'm a live stream tomorrow. And then I'm going to try to do a special show on Room 9 tomorrow also. So we're going to see what happens. I'm not going to lock in anything. I'm not going to advertise anything. I'm going to just see how it goes tomorrow and just play it by ear from there. Azriel says, my weekend has been really great. International Day with my god babies yesterday. Showed culture and dressed up fly. That's what's up. B-Day snuck up on you because you don't sleep. I don't know, man. I've been in this I'm in this weird space mentally right now where it's like I almost feel like it's a transition in my life. I've transitioned mentally and emotionally to where like I focus more on the positive things and the happy things. I'm starting to embrace things and doing things that I've never done before. So everything is kind of like in this weird transitional space. Somebody said they teaching a teenager how to drive. That sound like a good B day plan so far. Wake up and decide from there. Yeah, man. Like I'm not necessarily doing anything tomorrow. I'm just kind of staying in my space and keeping my same routine that I kind of do every single day. You know, I enjoy life. I love my life. I think that life is great. And I have nothing to complain about. I've become more nocturnal, that's for sure. I've become more nocturnal. So I kind of sort of sleep in the day and I move around in the night. So I kind of work until whatever time that I work. And then around, I don't know, 1:30, I kind of hit the streets and see what's happening. That's what I did yesterday. And the city showed me a lot of love. I wasn't expecting for the city and the streets to be as busy as it was yesterday. And I don't plan on being in the streets every night or nothing like that. But I kind of be up at night, and so I may hit the streets and see what's happening and hit some of the spots. And they showed me a lot of love last night. A lot of love. So I love this city. I love this space. And then I woke up this morning and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to really, really embrace it. I'm going to really embrace everything. So shout out to you, Anton. You top 3 in YouTube, hands down. Respect, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need to put on my Yeezy slides. That's what I need to do. Let me see what's happening. First of all, let me acknowledge. I want to acknowledge Mike, that dude. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. Also want to acknowledge April L. What up, April? Shout out to y'all. Tonight we got frame fights. So it's Toxic Masculinity Week. It's Toxic Masculinity Week. And so we're going to be reviewing Ray. Why do fools fall in love? And what's love got to do with it? So we're going to be kicking it in slow motion tonight on Room 9. I'm going to post that on a community post on the After Hours Room 9 channel. And so we're gonna get to that. Anton, are you going to talk about Kaby Lame? What is going on with Kaby Lame? Yep, it's Toxic Masculinity Week. What's going on? Amazing toxic movies. Man, Frankie Lyman was a mess. All of these dudes was just dope fiends. They all dope fiends. But we gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give my opinion on that. I'm sure Slimmy and Miss Sanchez are gonna have their thoughts on it. So let me see. Christopher Matthews says, "Happy early birthday, Anton, and many more." Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. It is very, I've spent a lot of birthdays with you guys. Christopher Gibson says, "What up, Anton? I want to be coached by you." Yep, I just got somebody that just sent me an email right now. Shout out to Trey Johnson. Profit margins for airlines, says DJ Ace Productions. All right, I'm gonna look at all of that in a second. I got some subjects that I want to talk about today, but then if y'all got something specific that's pressing or is really popping off in the culture, then we can talk about that too. Christopher Gibson says, "What up, Anton? I want to be coached by you. Have hit you up on Patreon and Instagram. Email. Business is always email. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. King C says, "Happy Sunday, big bro. I watch a lot of your old content for direction and stay motivated. Thank you. The road doesn't get easier. We just get stronger." I like that. I like that. About his divorce and how he came out on top. Let's see. Kaby Lame. You know why I'm skeptical about stuff like this? You know why I'm skeptical about stuff like this, Enos Luby? I'm gonna tell you why. Let me share my screen. Shout out to Tim Modeling. I appreciate you. I'm gonna read that shortly. Let me share my screen to tell you why I'm skeptical about stuff like this. A viral rumor claimed Kaby Lame's ex-wife reportedly couldn't access his assets because they were apparently registered under his father's name. It says Kaby Lame's alleged settlement with his ex-wife Wendy is going viral on social media. Several pages claim that Wendy reportedly did not know that the internet personality's assets are seemingly registered under his father's name. Goes on to say, due to this reason, the Danish South African model allegedly had no right to demand half of his assets. The viral post also claimed that Wendy's own assets, supposedly worth $10 million, would reportedly be split amongst the two. And then obviously we've seen a lot of posts like this on X and Instagram and all of this other stuff, right? They say that he sold his likeness. The deal was worth a reported $975 million. The rumored divorce story went massively viral with citizens, netizens praising the TikToker for seemingly securing his assets. And that some of this is false about her assets and splitting that up, so on and so forth, right? Let me tell you why I don't necessarily care about any of this. Is because it says neither him nor her, right here, neither him nor her has responded to the viral divorce settlement rumor. Meaning that, as far as I know, this is all fake news, bro. Here's the thing that I'm trying to understand. Why are people so concerned with what other people are doing in their relationships? What does that mean? Like, I don't understand that. It's like we got 1,000 different news stories every single day. We got war, we got movies, we got social media, people getting robbed, killed, all of this stuff. And it's like nobody knows for sure. So why are we commenting on the possibility of what if when neither one of them has substantiated it, talked about it, any of that? I just don't understand. Like, I've seen this story floating around all the time. And honestly, I wish that these divorces, alleged divorces that he's going through, this stuff should be private. That's a life event. I don't even know why that's a public thing. How do we know anything? We don't know nothing about what these people talking about, and everybody is speculating, and a rumor automatically turns into the truth, and then people are basically giving their synopsis and their breakdown all for a rumor. I don't understand it. That makes no sense to me. Honestly, if whatever they going through, if they going through a divorce, they could have made back up or whatever. We don't know, bro. We don't know. So, unless they come out and make some kind of announcement or something like that, I'm not speaking on rumors. I don't do rumors. So that's just not my thing. It's just not my thing, bro. I don't get into rumors with regard to relationships. We got sports, we got entertainment, we got all kind of entertainment. The dude, I don't even know what his voice sound like. And people are already trying to speculate on his downfall and the divorce and splitting and all of that stuff. If you want to know what my thoughts are in general, I think that you should take care of the people that held you down. whatever that looks like. That don't have to necessarily be a split. It don't have to necessarily be you get all of the assets over here, you get all of the assets over there. Just make sure everybody is good. We rich enough for everybody to be cool. Why is this even a thing? So it's not my thing. I don't know. I'm not into relationship rumors. That's just not my thing. So it doesn't do anything for me at all. I know y'all email me. I got y'all emails. I promise you I got your emails, and I'm working through coaching calls. I am doing coaching calls. And so I'm catching up on coaching calls. I promise you. All right. Thoughts on Iran after no agreement? Well, let's talk about that too. So I want to navigate this a couple different ways. So first, we're going to go off of JD Vance. And so just to give y'all a little bit of context, JD Vance, his goal was to secure a agreement, not only the ceasefire, but an agreement with Iran to ultimately end this thing. And so he went into a 21-hour negotiation with Iran. And this was what his latest announcement was with regard to it.
Bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms. Questions?
Sir, Nick Robertson from CNN. Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. Jen.
Was there a framework on anything? And also, did the Iranian frozen assets come up, and did you reach any conclusions on those frozen assets?
We talked about all those issues, Jen, and we talked about a number of issues beyond that. And so certainly those things came up. But again, we just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway. Preston.
Mr. Vice President, how often did you communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
All right. So before we get over to the Strait and the breaking news with regard to the Strait of Hormuz, with regard to Trump, let's talk about this for a second, right? JD Vance, again, Vice President of the United States of America. Shout out to Slimmy. Slimmy says, why is JD Vance doing this? Because he's the Vice President of the United States. And unlike Kamala Harris and most other vice presidents, everybody that's in the president's cabinet is involved, and they're leveraging all of their strengths in order to continue to push this forward. More importantly, I also think that if J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio are able to be successful, and whatever their respective tasks are, it makes for a better pitch for them to be president of the United States, because then they can say that they understand what it means to be engaged in an operation, to negotiate with our adversaries, so on and so forth. So it is necessary, I think, for everybody to be engaged. And what's the point of having these people on your team if you can't leverage them to do some of the things that you want to do, and then put other people in charge to make sure that things are done? So whereas Kamala Harris was pretty much non-existent, and we're going to get to her also, whereas Kamala Harris was pretty much non-existent within the administration when Biden was in office, J.D. Vance is very much front and center and engaged. Now, here's my question to you guys, all right? Here's my question to you guys. If Iran is unwilling to come to a deal, and the stickiness of that deal is based off of the fact that they refuse to not try to develop a nuclear weapon, because we all know that there's other factors involved, history involved, petrodollar, oil, Strait of Hormuz, different leverage and negotiating tactics that they have versus what the United States of America has, and then all of the interests in different countries throughout the Middle East, and then you throw in China and Russia, and the proxy wars in Taiwan and Ukraine, and there's so many other factors that go into this, right? But if the main sticking point is that the Iranian regime refuses to not commit to not developing a nuclear weapon, what does that say to you? What does that say to you? With everything else, and then J.D. Vance comes in and says that the main sticking point is that they refuse to not agree to not develop a nuclear weapon. That says a lot. Now, Slimmy will then say, well, you can't tell other countries what to do. That's literally what other countries that are powerful, what they're doing. China tells Africa what to do. Russia is enabled by their partners to ultimately tell Ukraine what to do. That's the reason why they were stealing oil from Venezuela. China is trying to take over Taiwan, which ultimately hurts our interests. And it's not just the shipping ways that Taiwan allegedly controls, but also the semiconductor chips, right? All of the information that was stole from ASML and defected over to China so that they can continue to compete with America when it comes to chip technology is that's what a proxy war is. A proxy war doesn't even have to necessarily be boots on the ground. It doesn't have to be missiles. It doesn't have to be anything. It is literally impacting and affecting what happens throughout the world for your own best interests. And since the beginning of time, there has always been an impact on what other people do, especially, and that's the reason why we got partnerships. That's the reason why you got NATO. It's a lot of reasons that go into it. So when we simplify it down to saying, well, you can't tell other people what to do, that's low-hanging fruit. It's not that simple. It's never that simple. Why would anybody in their right mind, and why would Iran be so steadfast in developing a nuclear weapon? Why would we want Iran, or why would we allow for Iran to be able to develop a nuclear weapon and think that that's cool? To simplify everything and to basically say, like, that's like saying, we have partnerships, obviously, over in the Middle East, which includes Israel and Dubai and everywhere else, right? If Russia engages with Canada and they get into a conflict with Canada, right? And they're trying to influence Canada to do certain things in order to concede so that they don't ultimately attack them anymore. And Canada is right next to us. Are you telling me because Canada is not the United States of America that we shouldn't be able to tell what other countries what to do? When we literally have to protect Canada because they don't have the military might as us and they're right above us. What if China decided that they wanted to deal with Mexico a certain way, which is our neighbor to the south, and because that's not the United States of America, and it does affect our national interests and our security and everything else, trade, all of that. But then we just dumb it down to say, well, because that's not America, we can't tell everybody else what to do. Slimmy says, I'm referring to negotiations. You cannot tell a country in negotiations, hey, can you make nukes? Hey, you can't make nukes when you're at war with them and you attack them first. Where's the logic in that? Slimmy. If it's a negotiation and they're trying to say, hey, we wasn't able to come to a deal because of this, what you're saying is moot, right? And the point and the reason why it's moot is because it's not to say the negotiations is even over. What JD Vance is saying is that the sticking point is that they don't refuse to not make nuclear weapons long term. I don't really understand where maybe we're all in a completely different mindset as far as looking at what this is, right? Because I'm always, under all circumstances, always going to be America first. I understand that life is war, right? When I'm looking at, and I exist within America, but I understand that there's liberals, I understand that there's trans people, I understand that there's people that want to put trans in people's books and so on and so forth. There's things that's going on in California, but I report on California and I say, hey, listen, it's not right that y'all trying to pass legislation to make sure that y'all allow for children to be able to transition, right? And so we push because we're continuously at war in whatever respective field, whether you want to talk about spirituality, whether you want to talk about what's best for America. We know that what happens in California ultimately affects what happens in the rest of the United States of America in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to climate change, regulations, car manufacturing, so on and so forth. Everything that happens throughout the world happens to us, and we're impacted by everything. So, of course, we're going to assert our influence in any way that we can, because what's best for America, in my opinion, is what's best for the world. I'm always going to be an American first, always. American flag, all of that. And I don't understand y'all. I am so confused at y'all. Y'all live in this country. Y'all benefit from this country. Y'all pay taxes. You have been born and raised here. Your ancestors died in order for y'all to have the freedom to do the things that y'all want to do here. And y'all are ultimately still rooting for other countries, even if you're not directly, you're indirectly, literally rooting for other countries. I don't understand that. That is so weird to me. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I don't understand how people in any way, shape, or form is not in support of everything America. I don't, bro. Like, this is gonna be home. This is where I want my kid to ultimately have kids here. I want what's best for America, even if it's not necessarily what's best for me right now. I don't get it. I don't understand how liberals, I don't understand how people are against the president. It is so weird to me. I may have criticized Biden, but I don't criticize Biden with regard to other places, right? I've never rooted for another country just because Biden was president at the time. Never, under no circumstances. I get mad. I say, what is Kamala Harris doing? Whatever, so on and so forth. But I'm never going to root for another country. Even the most my most hated president, President Bush II, I did not want us to lose in any capacity with regard to whatever it is that we was pushing and whatever wars that we were participating in objectively. I didn't like him. I didn't like the circumstances that he put us in, but I certainly wasn't rooting against American interests. It's so weird to me, bro. Somebody said, I've never seen you criticize Trump. Well, good. I'm glad that you haven't, and I'm pretty sure that you haven't watched every single hour of my content, and I'm not going to prove to you how I've criticized Trump, because that's not what the goal is, and that's not what the objective is. I want America to win, and I'm never going to sit there and say to you or try to present to you. I remember when the comedian tried to get me to do that. When have you ever criticized white people? I don't have to prove to you that I criticize anybody. I stand on what I said, and I mean what I say. I don't have to do none of that. And I have friends, really, really close friends, both in the content creation world and in real life, that absolutely disagree with me. And I give them the space to be able to say and vent whatever it is that they want to say. And at the end of the day, I take the information in, what they say, I consider it, I go and research it myself, and then I come to my own conclusion because I'm my own man. I'm my own man with my own thoughts, and I'm not easily swayed based off of what other people say just because it's the popular thing to do. Somebody said, I don't think you've thoroughly researched the issue. I guarantee you, you couldn't come up here and debate me about it. Right here, right now. You couldn't stand in front of me and debate me about it. I guarantee you that most of y'all don't even have your own talking points. Half of y'all are just regurgitating stuff that you seen somebody else says, and you don't even do your own research. I ain't worried about Slimmy. I kick Slimmy's ass on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Y'all more than welcome to come and see me whooping on Slimmy with regard to these issues on social media. I whoop on Slimmy all day long with regard to politics. On Tuesday, y'all can see us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on the After Hours and Room 9 channel. And y'all can see what I be doing to Slimmy, kicking ass and taking names. All right. Somebody says you didn't ask Myron one question, because I give Myron the floor because he's a special guest to the show. It's like when I interviewed Charleston White, or if I interviewed Brian McKnight. I don't have an opinion when I bring a special guest because I'm not there to debate. I'm there to ask questions so that they can influence the audience and say whatever it is that they want. It's the art of communication, and some of y'all don't know how to interview or for allowing for people to say what they want to say. When I go to Fresh and Fit, they don't debate me. They let me have the floor, and they let me say anything that I want to say because I'm the special guest to their platform. That's what happens when you bring people over to your space. You roll out the red carpet. Now, if it's marketed as a debate or a civil discourse, then that's what we would engage in, but that's not what it is. I give grace and I give the floor to the people that I respect, and when they decide to bless me with bless my platform with their presence, I'm always going to give them all of that. That's what happens. That's what happens when you treat your guests the way that you treat your guests. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. So that's what's going on with JD Vance. And I don't agree with everything that everybody says just because they're a special guest either. I just allow for the platform to do what it do. And then I let the people. It's not about me. I think that that's what people miss a lot of times. It's not about me all the time when you're on a panel with other people. It's about the audience. It's about making sure that they get information and they make their own decisions. And it's also about making sure that the people are entertained while at the same time putting the medicine inside the candy. So it's not always about that. But again, I know that a lot of people don't understand it. And that's why I'm me and you. That's why you watching in the audience and then I'm sitting here having a conversation. You subscribed and I'm not. That's the difference. Because I understand what entertainment is. I understand. That's why they call me Algorithm Daniels. Time's Up says, why are we negotiating if we're winning? The same reason why you negotiate with women that come into your space, even though you got dominance and control over them. Why do you negotiate with your wife when she says, hey, baby, can you go and take out the trash? And you don't feel like it at the time and you don't feel like getting off the game. Everything is a negotiation. Everything in life is a continued negotiation. T-Mac says, AD, what I've come to realize is that we have a bunch of fake Trump supporters and voters. I really believe a lot of them voted for Kamala in this chat. That's what I said. I said it. Listen, you can't sit here and tell me that 92% of women voted for Kamala Harris, but it ain't none that's willing to admit it inside of the chat. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Tech says, so will there be a draft coming up doing a December date for automatic registration? What are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? It's just conspiracy theorists. This is why I got a red cup today. Maybe I should go and start building my bunker here in Detroit too, huh? Anyways, let me move over to this real quick. Hold on. While we're on the whole subject of this whole political situation. Let's go over to Trump. It says that Trump announces a naval blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
Mine droppers have been completely blown up. So there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. Effective immediately, the president states the United
States. What's in a red cup? Water.
States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach an all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis, but Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them. This is world extortion, and leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. We will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. The president writes, Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and radar are useless. Khomeini and most of their leaders are dead, all because of their nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly. Other countries will be involved with this blockade. Iran will not be allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, and at an appropriate moment, We are fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. President Donald J. Trump.
Truly.
So let me give my thoughts on this. We don't negotiate with terrorists, apparently, and them trying to leverage the Strait of Hormuz, and more importantly, them trying to leverage charging $1 per barrel when some of these places are basically carrying 2 million barrels of oil, and they're trying to market it, the Iranian regime, as reparations for war, right? He's basically saying we're removing that threat, and this is my translation of it, hearing it. Literally, this news just got released just a second ago. He's basically saying we're not going to allow for you to be able to use that as leverage, right? If you're going to negotiate and negotiate in good faith, which JD Vance obviously admitted that they had been communicating with Trump back and forth multiple different times throughout the 21-hour marathon negotiation, in which Iran, according to JD Vance, is saying that they don't want to relinquish the idea that they won't try to develop a nuclear weapon, not now, not in 2 years from now, not 5 years from now, not in the not too distant future. They're basically, I believe, removing that as a negotiating tactic and tool to place more pressure on them to ultimately make a deal. Now, the caveat to this is what we believe them and what they have to do to justify and to satisfy the United States of America and say, hey, listen, all right, let's assume for the sake of conversation they relent and they say, all right, we're not going to try to develop a nuclear weapon. Because I don't even think that this is really about what the United States of America want. I don't think that the other Middle Eastern countries around Iran want to ever even think about the idea that they have a nuclear weapon. That would be chaos. That would be disaster. No way in the world that any other country that's surrounding Iran, that's within striking distance of a ballistic missile, would like to think that Iran ultimately has the capability of a nuclear weapon. And so I do believe that part of the negotiation is Trump leaning on them a little bit more and saying, all right, so listen, y'all not taxing nobody. We not allowing for anybody to come through or go through. So much for opening up the strait. We just going to have to make some concessions or do some other things. But ain't no way in the world that y'all going to continue to make money off the war after we leaning on y'all and we in the middle of negotiations. I also think that part of what Trump's strategy continues to be is that he allows for these things to go on while he continues to prepare and align our Navy, align and get more ammunition and get things prepared so that he can continue to do whatever it is that he's doing in Iran in the first place.
An extraordinary move by the president that follows on a lot of extraordinary moves by the president, recognizing that these are international waterways, and for 47 years you've had the mullahs of Iran holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage, holding the entire world hostage because of a weird little crook in the Strait of Hormuz that dives deep into Iranian territory that allows.
Somebody said we starting a war. Who? Iran? By continuing to develop nuclear weapons? Who are we afraid of? Russia? Who got stomped out and don't even got no more soldiers? Have y'all seen the torture videos that they have on their own people? Who exactly are we in fear of outside of the boogeyman? Who are we in fear of? Tell me, please. Help me to understand it. I'm literally trying to figure out, what are y'all talking about? Who are we in fear of exactly? Russia can't even protect their own country.
Them to control 20% of the world's oil and gas supply. And President Trump has called their bluff. He has basically captured the hostage and says, no more. You're not going to do it. And I predict that other countries.
Somebody said Russia. What? I mean, Iran was never developing nukes. How do you know? Have you been there? You been there? You know? Let me guess. Somebody told you. Your Iranian friend told you. We all working with limited information that's being provided to us, and we try to source that information as much as we can, both here in the United States of America and in other with other news agencies. And we try to sort through the propaganda to find the truth. But I'm pretty sure that you're not familiar with whether or not they were also.
Lie on that oil and gas more than the United States does, are going to come around and realize that this is probably the only way forward.
So Iran felt like they had the upper hand, that they had leverage by trying to take this strait. And in a
as they always
1,394 square mile center of that strait, where hundreds of tankers are passing every day, they have allegedly mined it. Reports are that they don't even know where the mines are. They put it there, thus redirecting any traffic that went through to come through Iranian waters, to which they made them pay a toll. Those are the ships the president's going to go after. But this decision to begin effective immediately blockading ships going in and out is a indication that Iran never had the leverage that they thought they had. As we send in 2 destroyers into the strait to begin the mine clearing conditions, and now blockading it.
He said their former supreme leader has already stated that they don't want nukes. Bro, I don't believe a chick that's shaking her titties in front of my face and saying that she don't want money. She said that she a girl that's just working at night and she a midnight ballerina. I call her a stripper. Let me guess. I'm supposed to take at face value the former supreme leader saying that they don't want, they already told us that. I believe them. I've had people come up on my panel for the last 3 or 4 years on the Anton Daniels channel on Wednesday night tell me, man, I'm loyal to you. You the king. Man, you the greatest of all time. And now they got 67 videos on their channel, and that's the only way that they ever make money. I don't believe nobody no more. You know what I'm saying? Let me guess. I'm supposed to believe the former supreme leader because he typed it out on a tweet on X, right? Am I supposed to do that too? Man, what is you talking about? Man, they typed it on Twitter.
Render Iran's leverage really useless, that they can't affect it. Now, this goes back, by the way, to have full context of it, because the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea says that no bordering country to any strait, let alone Hormuz, can control it, let alone charge any sort of toll. And so the president's decision here is not only a reaction as a last resort to the fact that Iran won't play by the international law of the sea, but also you just had on April 7th, the United Nations held a resolution to basically open it up and tell Iran they could not do what they were doing. And it was vetoed by Russia and China. And so ultimately, this isn't just about Iran anymore. This is now also about China, who receives 80% or more of these oil tankers going to them. 90% go to Asian countries, and it is backfiring as shipping of energy starts heading east.
And this also
towards the U.S.
This forces countries like China to suddenly wake up and recognize that, wait a minute, we have to participate in this and clear the strait.
You remember after the successful mission rescuing the second airman, the downed Wizzo, Director Ratcliffe came out and spoke along with General Kane and Secretary of War Hegseth. And the director said, you know, we have the best military in the world. We have the best agency. We have the best intelligence, bar none on the battlefield, better described than I'm paraphrasing right now. They said, but none of that matters. And all of that flies out the window without a commander-in-chief who has the political courage to put it into effect. And I know that's a different specific scenario than this, but I am reminded of that statement that all of our capabilities are rendered impotent and useless without a commander-in-chief and a president with a political and the geopolitical and the diplomatic vision to truly put American interests first. This issue with Iran has been a thorn in the side of America and the free world for almost 50 years. And we have seen what used to be one of our strongest allies become our definitively strongest enemy, in addition to China, over the last 50 years. And every commander-in-chief kicked the can down the road. And finally, we have one. And it's sticky. We are watching the sausage being made. This is not pleasant, but it's necessary.
And I agree with that. And that's what I've been saying for a long time, is that basically this is the reason why most leaders, most presidents before Trump refused to deal with this, is because they were more or less focused on not the outcome of making an uncomfortable decision, but they just knew it wouldn't be popular with the people, right? Solving for problems in any capacity in the world is always going to be unpopular with the people. Will it make things better long term? That's what the goal is. But nobody wants to engage. Nobody wants to make the difficult decision. Nobody wants to solve for it. Obama, you said Obama handled it. Yeah, Obama gave him $1.7 billion, and here we are in 2026 still dealing with the same thing. Kamala Harris herself sat there on 60 Minutes and in front of Brett Bauer while they were on a campaign trail, and she said it out of her own mouth that Iran was the foremost biggest threat to the United States of America. So if we collectively, if both Republicans and Democrats both said out of their own mouths that Iran was the biggest problem that was facing the United States, don't worry about it. I'll pull it up for you. Give me a second. Because I just want to remind y'all, I don't want y'all to think that this isn't a bipartisan issue.
That would have actually put one in mind, which is Iran.
Madam Vice President.
Just wanted to make sure that we all on the same page. Sometimes I want to remind y'all.
Two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has.
So everybody knows it. Nobody did anything about it. They knew what was going on with Maduro. They didn't do anything about it. They said, we'll put $25 million on his head. Somebody else solve for it. They knew about Iran. They knew what that was going on. They knew about Russia. They aware of what was going on with China, especially with Taiwan. So we've known this. Like, this isn't a secret, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, regardless who's in there. Nobody wants to take ownership and responsibility and deal with it, and everybody continues to keep the can down the road. Let me play a little bit more for you.
Has American blood on their hands, okay?
Iran has American blood on their hands. Quote from Kamala Harris, Iran has American blood on their hands. Let me rewind it again just to make sure we get the full context.
Greatest adversary.
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles.
I want to stop and pause there. I'm going to let her finish the whole thing, but I just want to pause 1 second and let's just take that whole thing in so they know. She says she's been sitting in the Situation Room, that she's been in the Oval Office, that she's aware of everything that's going on, but all of a sudden, wait a minute, it's Trump. No, it's just Trump. This isn't even her on MSNBC. This is her on 60 Minutes. Let's continue. I will play it for you.
What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power.
So Trump is now saying it. Trump is saying, JD Vance, hold on, let me play to you what JD Vance just said that the goal was and what Iran ultimately rejected in the 21-hour negotiation that they just had less than 24 hours ago. Let me play for you what JD Vance just said.
Bridge the gap.
Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we've negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will.
Okay, let me hold on. I just heard JD Vance. It sounded very similar to what Kamala Harris was echoing. Let me go back to Kamala and see if I was hearing that incorrectly.
What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power.
Now, why would she just say that? Why would she volunteer that? Why would she just say that? All 60 Minutes asked her is, hey, what country is our foremost enemy and is the biggest problem to the United States of America? And she's elaborating. She's answered the question, and then she's adding additional context. JD Vance just literally echoed this same statement that Kamala Harris just said, but all of a sudden, this is just us. This is just this Trump. Trump came up with this on his own, out of the blue. He made it all up just to be able to justify it. Doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at her on October 7th, 2024 was when this was recorded, and she answered 60 Minutes and told them out of her own mouth. So what am I missing here? I know I'm slow. I know I'm a C student. I'm trying to understand where the disagreement is between Democrats and Republicans on what is being communicated about what Iran is really doing. Yes, and Hillary said it too. And Obama had a conversation about it also. And Biden. Interesting. Interesting. Let's hear what else she has to say about it.
That is one of my highest priorities.
That is one of my highest priorities. Not the economy, not lowering gas prices, which inflate. I don't know if y'all remember, but inflation was above 10% under Biden with her in office as a vice president. People was whining, that was complaining, oh my God, I can't afford to live. Look at the prices. Somehow, some way, Trump did it though.
Experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, and then several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel, I was there.
You were there. You were there. Wait a minute. She didn't say this is what I think. This is what Biden told me. This is what Trump was saying. She said, I was there. I'm there. Now, obviously, she can't elaborate to what it is that she sees when she's in a situation room. She said, I was there. She didn't say, I heard it. This is what the intelligence says. She said, I was there.
Most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military.
Working with the heads of the military.
Doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself, and to give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that
but those proxies were getting funded by
my commitment to that is unyielding.
She stopped Brett Bauer. She said, wait a minute. And my commitment to that is unyielding. Unyielding. Where am I off at? Where am I off at is what I'm trying to figure out. When we have these conversations and you say, Anton, that's not true. Well, y'all didn't say that when Kamala said it. You didn't say it when Hillary said it. You didn't say it when Obama said it. You didn't say it when Biden said it. You never said anything. Condoleezza Rice said it. Kamala Harris out of her own mouth says they got American blood on their hands, literally, word for word. So what I'm trying to understand is, where is all of this performative hate? Because I know that y'all got short memories. I know that y'all act like y'all don't remember what's going on, but it's okay. It's okay. I got the memory of an elephant. I got that locked and key. I remember all of the things that I was saying as I was covering this election. I've been paying attention. We gonna get there. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I think that we all were in agreement on this. They didn't even debate about this on the stage. They said, yep, yep, we all right. We can just move on to the next question. Let's talk about the economy. Shout out to Johnny D. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down, my friend. Brian Clarity finally says, going to word this as best as I can. Maybe you agree. You run your channels like an entertainment business. It's all about a collection of people's views on one topic, like the Bible. People form their own answers. Oh, you could say that. I'm gonna let you determine how it is that I go about doing it. I just put together the live streams, the clips, all of that. The people are the ones that decide what happens after that. Tony Esquire says, my military service includes several Middle Eastern and European countries. Shout out to Brittany Griner, KB Warriors in the chat until she took her liberal views to Russia. Save me, racist America. Shout out to Tony Esquire. Time's Up says, Iran can't hurt us militarily, but economically. Curtis Taylor says, we would have been in this Iranian conflict regardless of who was in office. There isn't a Democrat versus Republican when it comes to uniparty that's bought by AIPAC. Brian Clarity finally says, what Trump is doing will be best for the betterment of humanity. There will be a little pain, but it is worth it, like when Jesus gave his life and how much better we are today. USA is too sheltered. Mr. Joe says, ironically, Kamala's answer on Iran was her most substantive. I agree with you on that. That's probably the best that she ever actually communicated in what she was saying. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I also want to give a shout out to, I love this. Before we even continue, let me just say this. I genuinely, Shout out to 10 Modeling. I appreciate you. Says afternoon AD Stock Club was great at yesterday. Make sure y'all go and watch the Stock Club that I did yesterday. It's re-uploaded for you guys to be able to view. Go check out Stock Club. It was a great recording. I'll put it up there for you guys to be able to do your thing. April, yes, coaching calls exist. I got you, baby girl. I got you, baby girl. I got you, April. But go and check that out. Let me just say, first of all, a couple different things before we move on with the show, is that I genuinely love y'all. I know that we go back and forth. I know that we debate. I know that we have differences of opinion. And I enjoy y'all actually giving y'all difference of opinion, because we are not in an echo chamber. We are not a monolith. I know that y'all got different perspectives and different views, and I love that. I respect that. And we go off on each other, and I say don't censor y'all, because I genuinely love engaging with the chat. Y'all are my co-hosts for this show. That's why I haven't brought a co-host on this show, because y'all are the co-hosts for this show. So let me say that. I genuinely enjoy y'all, all right? I appreciate y'all. The second thing that I want to say is I genuinely enjoy doing what I do, bro. I look forward to getting to the studio. I look forward to getting to, I love what I do. This isn't even a job to me. This is like, oh man. On days when I can't live stream with y'all, I be broken. I genuinely am broken. Nah, it's not just about the money. It's not just about the money. I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy it. See, that's the problem, is that you would do it just for the money, and it shows. And people that try to do stuff just for money, they're never able to sustain, because what do you do when you're not making no money? What do you do when you're not generating the revenue that you want to generate? A lot of people quit because they don't feel like they're getting the results that they want. That's the reason why I'm successful, is because I do stuff because I love it. It's the reason I was successful in corporate America. It's the reason why I'm successful in real estate. It's the reason I'm successful at content creation. It's the reason that I'm successful at relationships. I am successful because I love what I do. That's the difference. Now, I'm going to get compensated effectively because I'm the best at what I do, in my opinion. Is Brain AD? Brain, my bad, not Brian. I'm sorry. It is Brain. You're right. And I should have paid attention to the logo that you got up there. All right. DJ A says we be bewildered. Like, well, no Millionaire Morning Show. Well, but I'm always going to do a makeup show for y'all. Y'all know that the makeup show is coming. Around my birthday, around the April, March, April, May area, sometimes even June a little bit, things can get a little sticky as far as my schedule, because I usually have so much going on. And it's usually a lot happen like around the birthday time, springtime, weather breaking and stuff. So I try to keep a schedule as much as I possibly can, but a lot of times stuff just be happening. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to give me a little grace. At least I always make sure that I give y'all a makeup show. I don't dish y'all. And I keep y'all informed on why I'm missing. Like earlier in the week, I got hacked. It was nothing that I could do. I had to get my accounts back. I had to get my videos back up. I had to get everything back. I have to make sure that everything is backed up. And so it was nothing that I could do on Tuesday. Like everything had just went haywire. And so I had to kind of put stuff on pause so that I can get stuff back up. So, Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, and tap into the Discord. We always keep all news inside of the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's going on, it usually hits the Discord first, and so we get it popping. You said you think I like makeup shows, more AD, more passion is on the weekends. Now I get to kind of like not worry about the daycares and the churches and all of that, and so I can kind of just talk my stuff and not worry about what's going on. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to get into this too.
I know we are over the time, but I need to.
Somebody said, will there be a show tomorrow? Absolutely. Why wouldn't there be a show tomorrow? Because it's my birthday? Wait. Anybody that knows me knows that I am always like nothing ever changes. My schedule stays the same. I never miss. The only way that you're going to get me to stop is if you make me stop. You know what I'm saying? I am always going to be cooking up. There's never like, you must be new here if you don't think that I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, and that I'm actually, all right, let me give y'all a little bit of insight. I'm actually working on, remember when I was saying that I wanted to do something on Saturday? I think I'm gonna do it on Monday, just to test it out, because Monday is actually the day that the show would be launching, or that it would be consistently on. And so I'm trying to figure out if I can get this show tested out on the After Hours channel, this new concept of a show tested out tomorrow. So it's a possibility I might actually be live streaming tomorrow night on After Hours too. So yes, I will be 44. I was born in 1982. April 13th, 1982. What up, Lex? All right, let's continue. Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen.
I know we are over the time, but I need to ask you this. There was, slow down. I promised Miss Harris a certain time. I'm going to respect the time because I need her to come again. This is a convention, not a revival. It was debated in your campaign in the 107 days that whether you should talk to people like Joe Rogan and hard right-wing people in media. If you were to run again, would you talk to them?
Yes, I would. Listen, I will talk with anyone if it means talking with the American people. What I do not believe in, but however, is gatekeepers. I do not believe in the theory some people would push, which is that you got to go talk to that person to talk to the people. I don't believe that, and I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in gatekeepers. So, yeah, and I wrote about it in my book about the Joe Rogan piece. But yeah, I'll talk with folks as long as I know that the ability in that moment is to talk to the American people.
So, in your openness to talk to the American people, as I said in introducing you, you and I go back over a quarter century.
Yes.
And if there's anyone that has had open communication, is you and I. Mm-hmm. So are you going to run again in 28?
Let me tell you why I think that Al Sharpton, before she gets to her answer, let me tell you why she might have had the same suit on. Is that the same suit that she had on in the 60 Minutes interview? Hold on, let me double check. Nah, she had on a different one. She had on like a little dark purple one. She got on the Obama colors right now. Let me tell y'all why I think that. Big Ass, why you say please don't? Please do. Oh, no. No. Please do. Let me tell you something, bro. If she was to run again, first of all, she would actually have to go through a primary. Remember, she didn't go through a primary. She was hand selected, which is one of the reasons that Obama was pissed off and he kind of reserved and he fought for them actually going through a primary. And he was pissed because, smartly enough, and Obama was right about this, maybe she wasn't the best candidate. So she would have to first go through a primary, and then Republicans would be praying. They will be praying and wishing that she wind up becoming the candidate again, because there is no way. I would bet all my real estate, all my houses that are paid off, that JD Vance and or Marco Rubio would absolutely wash her. Wash her. There is no better candidate than Kamala Harris, and Gavin Newsom is running a close second that Republicans would love to see on the docket as the presidential candidate for the United States of America on the Democrat side. That would be the biggest blessing of all time. All time. So I'm not saying please don't. I'm saying please do. Please do. All right. That's number one. The second thing is, y'all got to remember that, and I reported on this, the reason why we don't believe in shills, and I don't even believe in most conservative and or Democratic content creators / whatever y'all want to call them, right? Because everybody is putting a different name on them. But the reality is that they're the most visible people in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. I don't believe in any of them. I don't have any alliance with any of them. You know why? Because they all take money and they all paid off. I don't know if y'all remember, but Al Sharpton got over $500,000 from the Kamala Harris campaign to quote unquote interview her. Y'all don't remember that? I can't believe y'all don't remember that. Al Sharpton and several other people, including Roland Martin, and Roland Martin went online and tried to justify it and say, yeah, black media should be getting this much or whatever, so on and so forth. I'm gonna have to go and find that. I have to go and find that. But they got paid. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh, yep. Yep, I remember it. I remember it like yesterday. They got a bag. And that's where their loyalty lies. Their loyalty lies justifiably with the bag. Al Sharpton's acceptance of Kamala Harris campaign's $500,000 donation, a bridge too far for MSNBC colleagues. It was a scandal. Obviously, they put that to rest, but it wasn't just her. It was a bunch of people that got paid. All of the black singers, all of that stuff, they all got paid because they was getting the bag. On Tuesday, MSNBC said it was unaware that Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign paid $500,000 to Al Sharpton's National Action Network nonprofit ahead of a friendly interview with the Democratic nominee just weeks before the election. Ahead, following Harris's defeat by former President Donald Trump, the FEC filings revealed that the Harris campaign gave two $250,000 donations to Al Sharpton's nonprofit organization in September and October. So, of course, they want her to run again. Of course, they're going to be doing friendly interviews. Of course, they're going to be trying to finesse a bag out of it. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? But see, I am going to be the one that continues to bring this to the forefront because I have never accepted a dollar from any PAC, any campaign, any donation. And so because my hands are clean, completely clean, with no money from no political anybody whatsoever, everything I do is on my own dime and of my own goals, and whatever it is that I say, regardless of whether you agree with me or not, I've never taken a dollar from anybody, including the entire 2024 campaign. So of course they asking, should she run again? They don't believe that she'll win, but they absolutely believe in the fact that they'll probably get paid again. All of these people are shills. I don't believe that they even believe in half of the stuff that they're doing. Most of the ways that they live their life and how they preserve their own dollars is based off of Republican and conservative values. But why would they give up the grift? Why would they give up the bag? Why would they give up the money that they're making and the partnerships that they built? They all a part of the GOAT. Man, they all a part of the same game. When you see Roland Martin hanging around the Divine Nine and they trying to raise money and all of this stuff, he getting the kickback. He getting the pay for that. He's getting paid for that.
I tried to be subtle, but I just figured I'd go right at it.
That's as subtle as Reverend Al Sharpton could ever be. We love you for many things, but not being subtle. Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it.
She is. That's why she didn't run for governor of California, outside of the fact that Gavin Newsom absolutely destroyed California.
I'm thinking about it. But let me say this. Let me say this. I am thinking about it. But let me also say this. Look, I served for 4 years being a heartbeat away from the presidency of the United States.
Cap.
I spent countless hours in my West Wing office, footsteps away from the Oval Office. I spent countless hours in the Oval Office and the Situation Room. I know what the job is.
Ain't nothing like the good old, yeah, girl, hallelujah. Talk about it.
And I know what it requires.
And I love her word salad. I've come to love Kamala Harris's word salad. It is actually pretty refreshing to hear how much word salad that she has.
I also know,
kind of miss it.
One of the things that I've been doing, Rev, is I've been traveling the country the last year. I've been spending a lot of time in the South and many other places. And the one thing I'm really clear about also is the status quo is not working. And hasn't been working for a lot of people for a long time. And part of the issue is the need to get rid of some of the bureaucracy. And
yo, I can't think of a more non-entertaining, and captivating, let me let y'all hear the rest of what she
government, and to understand that the people they don't want process, they want progress.
What?
And that,
what does that even mean? What does that even mean? The sticking points. You know what? Because they don't want to continue to look up. They're ready to be down. People don't want to keep looking up. They want to be down with the cause. I could write this stuff for y'all if y'all want me to. You know what? They don't want process. They want progress. They don't want to keep looking to their left. They want to go right. They want to be right. They tired of looking up. They want to get down into the ground. They tired of listening to the beats. They want to dance. You know? They tired of pulling out the seats. They want to sit at the table. We could do this all day if y'all just want to keep going. They tired of filming. They want to be a part of the production. Y'all want to keep going? Huh? They don't want to keep holding the light. They want to be in the limelight. All right? Okay? They tired of observing. They want to be boots on the ground. They don't want to be of it. They want to be in it. Y'all want to keep going? We could do this all night long. We could do this all night long. They tired of being in it. They want to be over it. They want to get to the next level. They tired of banging on the ceiling. They want to break through. Hallelujah. Can I get an amen? Man, if you don't shut up talking to me with this jibber jabber, nobody wants your motivational speech. Man, if you don't give me something that I can use that's going to actually help me and mean something, just talking that jibber jabber. Yeah, it's not on you, it's in you. Right. Right. Don't nobody want to shut up. Shut up with that nonsense. Yo, what are you going to do?
That's the work that needs to be done. I think that, look, the American people have a right to expect that anyone who wants to run for office and be a leader, that it can't be about themselves. And what they want for themselves has got to be about the American people. And that's how I think of it. And I am thinking about it in the context of then, you know, is who and where and how.
What? I miss Kamala. I can't even cap. Let me listen to what she's saying. Listen.
Context of then, you know, is who and where and how can the best job be done for them.
What are we talking about, y'all? I mean, you know what? I have a new affinity for Cam. Shout out to Cam. I know I haven't calling you Cam since like 2020, 2021. I have a new love and affinity for Cam. I love me some Kamala Cam Harris. Yes, I do. Y'all, have y'all not missed this? I missed it personally. I think that it was something that we should have. I don't know. Maybe I might go to one of her tour stops. What's the next tour stop? Oh, I think we should all take a drink in honor of Cam. Remember her glossy-eyed after losing the election speech? A lot of y'all don't remember. I remember it. That junk was hilarious. She had put it on her actual YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Not the concession speech, like after she popped back out and she had the real glossy eyes. Where's her channel? Is this the channel? Videos. This one right here. After Tim Walz did his thing, America's Dad. This has to be one of the most disastrous campaigns that I've ever seen in my entire life. America's Dad. Let's get rid of America's Dad. This is it.
fights and continues to do so. And I would just ask all of you to
so unremarkable and not marketable. This one right here. This one right here. Do y'all remember this one? Hold on, let me play it for you, man. I don't know if she was, but she seemed high as a kite, bro.
Harris.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Back at you, brother. You are such an extraordinary leader, and we have become lifelong friends. I just, in front of everyone, I want to thank you.
Hey, somebody pass the vodka, bro.
Tim. You lead with courage. You lead with heart. You see the people. You care about the people. You believe in uplifting the dignity to which all people fun when you're doing it. Up to have you. Noel, thank you for your work in Pennsylvania. I'm Governor Walz and our team. And your role in this was helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together.
Oh, man. I love Kamala Harris. I have found a newfound love for Kamala. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. When you miss live streams, I have to ask myself, what am I going to listen to? Music and audiobook? Nah, I just catch up on my Miss Room 9 episodes. Facts. That's a fact. Brain Clarity finally says, happy early birthday, AD. I will be working tomorrow. You and me both, big dog, and thank you for the well wishes. Big Boy says, big ups to your birthday. I turned 49 this year. It's a blessing, bro. It is a blessing to get older all the time. That is the biggest blessing ever. Curtis Taylor says, Kamala the cackling coot isn't going anywhere, and I believe she will lose again in 2028. I don't think that she can get past the primary. She'll be like another Hillary Clinton. Trump better get it together before Dem is sitting in office in January 2029. Nah, we'll be all right. Time's Up says, I'm hearing Michelle Obama running in 2028. Yeah, right. I would bet my bottom dollar that don't happen either. The way that she despised and talked negatively about being in the White House was like, no way. I don't believe that at all. I don't know if you pronounce the I. Diadera 314 says, they tired of the word salad. They want the dressing. See, y'all catching the hang of it. Curtis Taylor says, we want a leader, just not you, Kamala. AD ready to run up that election bag. Man, oh man, oh man. Let me see what else is happening in these streets. These streets, man. That was a really great election. I really enjoyed myself in that past election. Oh, Chicago. Chi-town. Chicago, come on to the front of the congregation. We need to talk, Chicago. We need to talk, Chicago.
For the first time in decades, HIV infections are on the rise here in Chicago. They jumped about 29% between 2022 and in 2024. Joining me this morning to discuss this is Dr. Anu Hazra. He's an associate professor of medicine at the University of Chicago, specializing in infectious diseases. Thanks so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the headline here. What is driving this increase, and are you seeing any patterns that could be leading to this rise in cases?
Yeah, I think people have a lot of potential hypotheses of why we're seeing about a 30% increase for the past 2 years. I think the biggest impact factor is potentially COVID, and understanding that a lot of folks were disengaged from medical care, from continuity care, from preventative care during a really disabling time, and now we're sort of seeing the lingering effects of what occurred about 6 years ago. And then the other thing to note is about half of these new infections, of the 800 plus new infections, are in Latinx populations. And so trying to understand how we can increase or improve services to more marginalized populations across the city is super important.
So they've just been able to gather the data over the last few years of HIV and AIDS cases. Obviously, this does not include chlamydia, herpes, crabs, all of the above. Right now, again, went through the data, and I also realized that this is only of the people that have gotten tested or discovering it when they went to the doctor. This does not include people that did not get tested, right? And if you look at the numbers of, let me see, how much did he say it jumped? Jumped 29% from 2022 and another 12.5% from 2023. So the numbers is continuing to go up of new AIDS and HIV cases. And if you look at the populations that are impacted the most, even though they are a smaller percentage of the population in Chicago, Hispanic and Black people are always at the top of the list. Hispanic and Black people, they haven't gathered all of the information for 2025 yet. Remember, we just still in the beginning of 2026. They haven't gathered all of the information from 2025 yet. All right. But they're telling you that there's a spike in HIV and AIDS in Chicago. All right. Hispanic people obviously like getting it on the most. I didn't even know that y'all was sexing like that. I didn't know that y'all was hunching in the Hispanic community like y'all hunching. Real life PJ says, where the condoms at? Don't nobody wear condoms no more. You crazy? You crazy? God Flavor talking about condoms is cheap. Listen, bro, listen. Every guy that has ever come up on the panel, every guy that has ever had a conversation about this, has all said that no woman that they have ever slept with have ever said, hey, you got a condom on you, or hey, you gonna put on a condom? They have told me that anytime that they have done it is because they did it on their own accord. It wasn't because she asked them. It wasn't because she required it. It wasn't because she suggested it. It wasn't because she even cared about it. She was just like, come on, man, let's get it popping. I know, Eric Harris. I have never, ever, ever heard of anybody say, yeah, man, listen, these chicks, they not having it, bro. If you ain't coming with a rubber, if you're not coming with a condom, if you're not coming to get tested with her, then she not going. You know what they telling me instead? They say she going the same day, same night. Same day, same night. I'll do you one better. Because, well, let me let this play a little bit longer.
Across the city is super important.
What does that process look like? Because you pointed out the sharp rise, especially in Latino populations. So how do you get the message out?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is community-based outreach. A lot of it, which is, has been in the past federally funded or state-funded work done by really great community organizations that are embedded across these populations that may not have the best access to healthcare, but making sure they have access to preventative options and treatment options.
We're seeing this rise here in Chicago. You mentioned about 30% or so. Mm-hmm. Is this something that's just a Chicago issue, or is there something that we're also seeing in other big cities across the country?
Unfortunately, Chicago is not unique.
Unfortunately, Chicago is not unique. Unfortunately, Chicago is not unique. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you. Not only are they going same girl, same girl. I heard that Usher and Chris Brown is having a worldwide concert, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of AIDS and herpes slanging out there in the streets. Not only is some guys that'll tell you that's going outside, not only are they going the same night, the women are the ones that are initiating the conversations when you go out into the streets nowadays. I promise you. I promise you, when you go outside, every time I step outside, I guarantee you a woman will go up to you and say, hey, oh my God, you looking so cute. What's your name? Get off the internet and go outside and go and see it for yourself. The women are the ones shooting a shot. You don't have to go up to them no more. I guarantee you. Get off the internet. Go outside. The women are the ones that are shooting their shot. You don't have to say nothing no more. All you got to do is go outside, bro. They shooting. They shooting. I made you. Y'all better be careful, bro. Y'all better be careful. I know y'all like to go out of town. I know y'all like to, you know what I'm saying, go to these places or whatever, so on and so forth. Y'all got to be careful, bro. Seriously. It's dangerous. It's more dangerous than ever before. And it's wild out here. It's absolutely insane. It's wild. It's crazy. And so it's not just happening in Chicago. It's happening all over the United States of America. And more people than ever is not caring. They just don't care. People don't give a F. Yo, matter of fact, there's never been a better time to be out the way. And I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're in a relationship. Whatever you doing that keeps you safe and don't have you in harm's way, facts, Destiny. That's a fact. That is a whole fact. Whatever you doing that keep you busy, I don't care if you are overworker, if you dedicated to God, some combination of both, and then you got something that you work with as far as in a relationship too. If you got that, you in a great space right now. They try to promote and sell the idea of, oh man, you know, being in the streets is it. Yo, you know, if you ain't doing this, if you ain't doing that, then you a lame. Ain't nothing better than being a lame, bro. There is nothing better than being a lame because you're only lame in they mind. I'm telling you, bro, all you have to do is go outside. All you have to do is go outside. It's 1,000 of them. There's never going to be no shortage. And the best advice that I can give you is the age-old advice that we've heard in movies, that we've heard from people, that we've heard all over, right? You'll never, ever, ever, ever lose women chasing money. But I've seen so many guys fumble the bag chasing women. You'll never, ever lose any money continuing to hunt, taking care of business, being on top of your game, being on top of all of it. You go out there and you start chasing these chicks, I guarantee you're going to be in trouble, bro. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. And y'all look at these chicks and you're, oh, damn, she bad or she can whatever, so on and so forth. Man, they hunching everybody. They doing it to everybody. They not tripping about it. You're not special. You think you special. You think you got all of the game in the world. They all is hunching and spreading it like everything. And the minute that you realize that is the minute that you start locking in, you start focusing on your purpose. You stop trying to take them home the same day that you meet them. You start vetting them a little bit more effectively. You stop kicking it with people that don't add value into your life. And you start being a lot more intuitive. You start being a lot more focused. But nah, you got to see it through. But see, I think that also what comes along with that is with age is more maturity. And you start being, no, everybody don't know that. Everybody is not aware of that. Everybody is not. They think that they got to chase it forever. Everybody don't know that. Everybody haven't experienced the fact that you can have discipline and chill and be able to go and do whatever it is that you got to do without having to worry about the chicks, bro. Everybody don't know that.
In this sort of trend, New York City released their HIV trend numbers just about a month or two ago, showing very similar sort of drifting upwards or rise in new infections, again, particularly in marginalized populations, both racially and ethnically marginalized populations.
At this point, what does testing and treatment for HIV look like, and has it changed in recent years?
Yeah, I mean, I think the treatment for HIV has transformed over the past, 4 decades in general. The treatment for HIV medically is actually quite straightforward. The majority, if not all individuals, are on single tablet regimens or long-acting injections. It's the stigma related to the diagnosis, the stigma related to testing, the stigma related to any mention of the disease process or infection that is the biggest obstacle or barrier to link folks or even engage folks in care.
When you mention those stigmas, can you give our viewers some examples of what that looks like?
I think we all are aware when we think about HIV, the stigma that we all may hold or understand that is held by others. This idea that there is something wrong with someone or something wrong with a population or something that they deserve or whatnot.
Somebody said this fruitcake talking. He a doctor, bro. Can y'all see past y'all own biases and y'all own ignorance in order to get the information so that we can make a more informed decision? Does it always have to be, oh man, he got a comb over on his head, or oh man, he must be gay, or whatever, so on and so forth? Do we not listen for the information, or do we just automatically judge it based off of what the person looked like? I don't get it. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. What does what he looked like have to do with the information that he's communicating? Am I asking too much? That man probably married with a family, and he probably richer than ever. He probably didn't save more lives than people could ever imagine, and they so focused on whether or not they like him or not. He probably got him a chick that's holding him down, and he focused, and he on top of his game, and y'all sitting there talking about he a fruitcake. What? What are we talking about? We so unserious about life, bro. We so unserious about everything. We not even to be taken serious because we are out of our mind, bro. We are 100% not serious about nothing, bro. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all are so unserious, bro. What we got? It was some other stuff that I wanted to cover. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
Ranger knows that if you're a school custodian, cleanliness is your top priority.
Trump. I'm gonna read these super chats shortly.
Time is of the essence. In San Diego, Alex Alvarez from Active Recovery Services has located a car that's on his repo list for lack of payment. It's in the parking lot of a shopping center. It takes him less than 5 minutes to hook, lift, and tow the car out of the parking lot, and it's gone, just like that.
It has to be fast. People want to get in the vehicle before we hook it up.
Alex says he takes no pleasure in leaving people without a car, but that's the job he's hired to do.
Well, I'm buying work boots to start work on Monday, and all of a sudden I just started seeing a tow truck.
Ezekiel Rodriguez was driving the car that Alex just picked up. He says it belongs to his girlfriend, and she let him borrow it while she traveled out of the country on a family emergency.
No, you know what? I'm not going for this. I'm not going for this at all. You know why I'm not going for this? NBC is being lazy, bro. NBC is being lazy. Nope. NBC is being lazy. You know why NBC is being lazy? Because NBC is rerunning this story and they just getting more views. They cheating. NBC is cheating. I remember doing a story on this exact same video before. I don't like that, bro. I don't like that they finessing. I remember, bro, I got a phenomenal memory, and I remember doing a whole video on this. I remember doing a video on this, bro. And I know I don't have deja vu. Car loans. Repo Man. Yep, I remember this. Look. This was 3 months ago. This was literally 3 months ago. Look.
Behind on your auto payments, here are some options that may help you keep your car. Time is of the essence. Alex Alvarez from Active Recovery Services has located a car that's on his repo list for lack of payment. It's in the parking lot of a shopping center. It takes him.
They be following. I remember this whole thing.
On, just like that.
It has to be fast. People want to get in the vehicle before we hook it up.
Alex says he takes no pleasure in leaving people.
Yeah, I remember this whole thing. And then he was standing there with the Pringles. They so lazy. These news companies is recycling this garbage on a regular basis, and they're so lazy. I hate these news places. And I remember doing this exact same story. And now they're trying to rerun it again and make it seem like it's something new. Yo, what up? Hey, what's going on? You? What's the word? You slow motion?
Yeah, I think I'm about to go to the store and get some stuff to make some cookie butter cinnamon rolls.
Why are you about to make cookie butter cinnamon rolls? Because what?
That sounds fun, right?
I'm on a live stream.
Oh, my bad.
Well, no,
I didn't even know.
you didn't know because I don't really live stream on Sunday like that. Until
Yeah.
You about to go to the
My
store
bad.
and get what?
Some stuff to make cookie butter cinnamon rolls.
Oh.
But I'm getting all the ingredients right now.
Is this stuff that you learned in your cooking class in school?
Kind of. Yeah.
I'm getting some.
I think it's gonna be good. We're gonna see.
I'm getting some.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna call
Don't
you.
worry, I'm about to make some.
What else
I'll
you
talk to you
making?
after though. Nothing. That's it.
All right, I'm coming to get some.
All right.
All right, bye. How's my daughter talking about she about to go get the ingredients to make some cookie butter cinnamon rolls. I'm about to end this live stream right now. Oh, I'm about to get off the live stream and go get some cookie butter cinnamon rolls. I don't think I've ever had that before, but it sounds good. It sounds incredible. Let me read some of these super chats. Let's see what's going on in these streets. Con Man, this Sunday anyway. Con Man says, salute AD doing some yard work while you on the Bluetooth speaker. Shout out to you, Con Man. Yeah. Somebody said, Eric TV. See, nah, you know what that is? Let me tell you something. Eric TV. This is what you don't understand. When you see a man that lives a life in which he has some good home cooking, that means that he's well taken care of. That's what the guys of yesteryear experienced. That's not what the guys of today experience. Everything is microwave, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all of that stuff. See, it's hard to maintain staying on anything when you got people that cook around you. They make spaghetti, lasagna, all kind of good stuff, bro. All kind of good stuff. That just means you're well taken care of, big dog. You're not used to that because you don't got nobody to cook for you. That's what it is. You're not used to women cooking for you. And so, it's a lot more difficult when they call you and say, hey, I'm about to go to the store and get some ingredients to make this and then this. Okay, now you know what? You're right. You're right. It's way more difficult when you got people that cook for you. You know what I'm saying? Any news on Eric Swalwell? Kamala is the bottom. I don't know who Eric Swalwell is, honestly, says this guy here. Gerald Sparrow, what up? What up, Gerald? Says, I was in Walmart last night and a big box of condoms and KY was on clearance for $3. Must have been expiration date. $3? Shh. Jesse B. Royalty says, happy early birthday, Anton. Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, too. What an amazing day. What up, though? Happy birthday. Yeah, my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming on A Million More. We streaming tonight on After Hours, too. All right? Happy Sunday, ADM Pete's. I'm in monk mode right now. I feel you, Chase Barnes. Got to do what you got to do. All right, listen. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Go and watch the live stream that I re-uploaded yesterday for go and watch the live stream that I did yesterday on IPOs. It was a part of a stock club, and we're going to deep dive into that. Frame fights tonight, Millionaire Morning Show tomorrow. Just wanted to come through and kick it with y'all for a little bit. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.